Hi, this is Smash Rundown. If you enjoy movie reviews and trailer reactions, you're at the right place, so why not subscribe and hit the like button down below.
Today we're going to be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong is a monster film directed by Adam Wingard. It stars Godzilla and Kong, and a bunch of other people.
Essentially, Godzilla vs. Kong gives you a little bit more than you expect, because you expect that awesome fight between Godzilla and Kong. But there's some unforeseen forces working on both Godzilla and Kong. In terms of Godzilla, he just starts attacking places randomly, and even though he used to be a bit more balanced, he just seems like he's gone nuts.
Yes.
And as for Kong, he goes to Hollow Earth essentially to find home, along with some scientists who are looking for some power. Obviously, when aren't they? There's some human interactions within this, and I think the only human interactions that were really important was between Kong and this little girl.
Yes.
That was really the heart of the movie.
Of course, as expected, Godzilla is attacking for a reason. It seems indiscriminate, but there's a reason. And of course, it has to do with an evil corporation.
Yeah, I felt like, even though it kind of seemed random, by the second time when he was attacking the same corporation, it kind of felt like, well, obviously something's happening.
Yes.
Because there's many places Godzilla could attack, but he only attacks a specific spot.
They really do set it up as the evil corporation very blatantly. It's in your face. It's not subtle.
Right from the very first introduction of the evil corporation character.
Yes. So looking at the good, it really felt like the director had an affinity for the source material. He liked it, he respected it, and he did well by the source material. Both Godzilla and Kong seemed to be pretty well portrayed, and I was happy with that.
And I think that the CGI effects were really good.
So good.
Especially when you looked at their Godzilla and Kong's faces. The expressions were so good. I remember in one part of the movie, Kong is just so exasperated, and you can see it on his face.
Yes.
They did such a good job, and of course they did a good job with Godzilla as well, but because his face is more reptilian and scaly, it's a little bit harder, but I still feel like the emotions are expressed quite well.
And one thing you want in Godzilla vs. Kong is big fight scenes, and they were big. Godzilla and Kong came across as huge on screen. Their blows had actual weight behind them, it felt like. So the fight scenes were quite intense, and there was a complete disregard for human life, and all the buildings were being destroyed, and it's exactly what you want to see from Godzilla vs. Kong. So I was super thrilled. And on the big screen, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch on the big screen. I think if you can watch it on the big screen,
Definitely
choose that option, because it was well worth it.
And then Mechagodzilla makes an appearance at the end, and honestly, it could have been clunky, it could have been corny, it could have been poorly done, but it wasn't. I thoroughly enjoyed Mechagodzilla, and I thought I wasn't going to, and it's so cool.
Yeah, they did it really well. I liked the fact that they almost kept it scaly still, and they showed the mechanics of the spines going up.
The CGI is actually insane.
Yeah.
Looking at the bad, the first 20-30 minutes of the movie is complete exposition, basically, and it gets a bit tiring, and I know it's needed, but I wanted to get to the fight between Godzilla and Kong, and then we're explaining stuff, and it's people running around doing stuff, and I'm like, just get to Godzilla and Kong.
I think that those first minutes of explanation were really needed, because there's like 45 movies of Godzilla and Kong together. So it's really difficult for people to keep track of everything, and I know they're not all in the same timeline and universe, but still, there's a lot that goes into these two characters. And I think they needed to explain it just a little bit. And the movie overall wasn't too long.
No, I mean, after that it started, it flew by.
Yeah, so I felt like they balanced that quite well.
I think the movie was also a pretty good runtime, because it wasn't like a 3-hour-long movie that you sat getting bored with. It
was like 2 hours?
Yeah, it was good. I think one of the scenes that probably annoyed me the most, and you said it in the cinema, they're taking Kong to the entrance to the Hollow Earth, and they're like carefully plotting out how they must take the ships there so they don't encounter Godzilla. Of course, they encounter Godzilla, and yeah, there's a big fight. And then they get helicopters and they carry Kong by helicopters. Why didn't they just take the helicopters the first time if the sea was a problem?
I think just for the plot line, because they wanted a fight.
Yeah.
But yes, it annoyed me. Like, if you knew it was dangerous to go in the waters, why not just make the alternate plan to start off with? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just to give us an extra fight scene.
Yes.
Which was cool.
It was cool, but yeah, logic.
I think that's the thing with these type of movies, that it's not very logic based. I think it's more about just having fun, watching the fight scenes, and it's pretty cool.
Yes.
And that's about it. You know, there's some flaws here and there, but I think overall there weren't too many flaws in this movie if you think about it in that way.
Yeah, true.
So I think they still did a good job with that, even though it wasn't necessary, because you know what, it is just two big monsters fighting each other.
With a surprisingly well-rounded story.
Yeah, I also thought so. I didn't mind all the exposition and the human characters, because I think people sometimes need people to root for.
I had someone to root for. Kong.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though I know a lot of people were rooting for Kong or Godzilla, but like the little girl and their relationship, it made you root for Kong even more and realize just how smart he is.
Yes.
So I think they gave an important dynamic to the two characters instead of just being two mindless monsters fighting randomly. So I think that was important.
Overall, the movie was very Kong-focused, but I think it's easier to be Kong-focused because he's got those emotions. He's a lot easier to connect with because he can communicate. Where Godzilla is a reptile, I mean, as much as they could get some facial expressions in him, it's a lot harder to see what he's thinking and to follow him as a story. And then in our trailer reaction, I said it probably going to end up being a Marvel team-up, and it was a Marvel team-up. There was the initial fight between them, and then, oh no, we actually have to team up against the bigger bad. And that was exactly that. So go in expecting that type of movie.
My rating overall would be a 7 because I really did enjoy it.
I'm going to give it an 8.
That leaves it with a 7.5. In terms of who should watch it, I think anyone who enjoys Godzilla or Kong or just likes these big movie blockbusters with lots of awesome fight scenes, you'll probably really enjoy it. I think most people will probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I said a bit earlier, if you do have the choice, I would definitely go for cinema over watching it at home. But saying that, I still think it's worth a watch even if you're watching it at home.
It's a good escape for 2 hours.
Yeah. And I think that it's something you could watch again because there's a lot to the storyline and the fight scenes were awesome enough that, you know, I could see people who are really fans watching this at home again.
Yeah. So together, Kong and Godzilla have had 48 movies. Let us know in the comments down below. Which one of those is your favorite?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're reaching 100, so help us get there, guys. Bye.
Later.